Last year, Mr. Savoie was arrested after going to Japan in an attempt to reclaim his 2 children. They were ages 4 and 2, I believe, when they were abducted. Mr. Savoie was released after about 2 weeks, and the case against him dropped. But the children remain in Japan. Let's hear from Mr. Savoie.
Thank you, Congressman Moran. On behalf of all of the left behind parents and children who are victims of these crimes. My name is Christopher Savoie. In August 2009, my ex-spouse stole our children, Isaac, Daisuke, and Rebecca, Airi, Savoie. In violation of Tennessee statutes and in violation of a Tennessee court order, she boarded a plane and stole Isaac and Rebecca away from their home, their school, their friends, and their loving father. A few weeks following their abduction, I flew to Japan in an attempt to be reunited with my children. I failed in my attempt to bring them to the U.S. Embassy. I failed when Japanese police violated the U.S.-Japan treaty and pulled me off of the embassy grounds, arrested me, and tortured me for 18 days. All the while turning a blind eye to the U.S. court order designating me as the sole custodian of my children, and ignoring the fact that under Japanese law, my koseki, that I had legal custody of my children even in Japan. I showed Japanese authorities the certified, translated, court-ordered copies of these documents, including the warrant for my ex-wife's arrest. What did the Japanese authorities do? They returned my children to their abducting mother and tortured me even more. But mine isn't even the most egregious case. Kate Feffard, a grandmother, was thrown into a Tokyo prison just for asking about the whereabouts of her abducted grandchildren. After 2 weeks of torturing her, the Japanese police sent her home to the United States like me, bewildered, bereaved, and traumatized. Japan should be ashamed of its complete and utter disregard for a child's right to know the love and warmth of caring parents. And the Japanese government needs to know that I will not stop fighting for my children, Isaac and Rebecca. And I will not stop fighting on behalf of the 300 American citizen children who are being wrongfully retained in a country that wants to impose its strange ways on the rest of the world. Japan is the only G7 nation that continues to be complicit in the abduction of children. As Representative Smith and Representative Moran said so succinctly yesterday, this is no longer a David versus Goliath fight with grieving parents individually fighting an entire foreign government. This is now a government-to-government fight, and it will not go away until our children are returned. The Japanese government needs to do the right thing, not just because it's the morally correct thing to do, but because it is not in Japan's national interest to allow its citizens to continue to ignore international law. And I'd like to add that this resolution today has already had the effect of a case that we know in Texas, of being entered into evidence and being used to prevent the abduction of a child. So this is very important to educate the judiciary through this resolution, but it's also important for Japan to understand that it's already having its effect. The world is waking up to these tragedies, and it will not be tolerated. Isaac and Rebecca, I miss you, I love you, and I will see you again one day. God willing.